Hello, everyone. I'm Emma. I came here from Poland, and I would like to explain cyber threats in IT world. I chose this topic because, so this is about me. I'm Emma Kocik. I'm IT specialist for the last 7 years. I used to work for a telecommunications company in Poland. My former employer was ISP, so we were also internet service provider. My job, except for being IT specialist, was also providing IT security awareness for all our all our workers, new employees, and all the departments. If you want to connect with me, I know that some of you are students, you don't really use LinkedIn, so you can also find me in Facebook if you have any further questions after the presentation. So the first thing you have to realize when you think about the security in IT is that security is not a product, it's a process. So basically what we have is this ring. It always goes like this. So it's like never-ending process. It's not my idea. Bruce Schneier, as you see here, he's the very famous IT security writer and specialist. He came up with that idea, and nowadays, if you Google security as a process, you will see all the range of these circular representations, and it started with his idea. So why we consider security a process, not a product? It's because the reality is always changing. So when we secure our systems or networks or whatever, or our computers, it's not that it's the end. Then after we finish securing our systems or computers, then we have to test if it actually took any process, if it's working. If we find there is something to improve, then we improve, then we still monitor. Because if we have a breach, which I have here, so if something happens, there is some kind of vulnerability and some people may access our computers or networks. So we have a security breach, we call it. Then we have to start over. So then we secure again, test, improve, and monitor. So this is actually a never-ending process. So when it comes to IT threats, we have this concept of vulnerabilities. So vulnerability is actually the weak point in our IT systems, products. It may grow up from no updates, no encryption used in our systems or computers. Maybe we are not very careful users and we can find this kind of or any kind of meme in the internet and just click it. We click it and maybe a virus can be downloaded to our system, to our computer, and make a lot of damage. The other thing is that we sometimes may get infected email with infected link or maybe infected attachment. We open it and also we get hacked. Some virus may spread in our network. A lot of things may happen. I will explain that also afterwards. The other thing is weak passwords. So if we use weak passwords, actually we are also vulnerable in a way that someone may guess this password or just crack it in a brutal way. So yeah, and the conclusion of this one, we are never 100% hacker-proof just because of this process. So we also need to always improve our security. Remember about updates, encryption, being careful what we are clicking on the internet, and using correct passwords. I will also explain that later. So when it comes to cyber threats, I chose few of them based on reports that I've studied before. So the ones I will talk about is Internet of Things threats, because now we tend to connect many things to the internet. Using of a cloud, phishing, I will explain that later after I finish, and also ransomware and cryptojacking. So the first, Internet of Things. Internet of Things means all the things we connect to the internet. Nowadays, we don't only use computers, we use smart bulbs, smart TVs, cameras that are connected to internet. I've even seen some vacuum cleaners, gaming consoles, and smartphones. Smartphones are actually computers, just we don't really secure them as well. I don't know, how many people here use antivirus on their cell phone? Yeah, there is few. Okay, you should do that, because it's also a computer. So what happens with this Internet of Things? When we connect our devices to the internet, they can become the gateway for attacker to get into our network and make a lot of problems. I will tell one example of this one. In Poland, I think it was 3 years ago now for Christmas, we had a very young and brave engineer. He decided to build an intelligent home. So basically what he did, he connected some smart bulbs to the internet. He also put IP camera in front of his house, and he said on the internet, he posted it on internet, if you're a hacker, if you can hack my bulbs, you can make patterns on my home, and you can see some patterns because you can control it with internet. So what happens after? What can go wrong? Well, yes, after a few minutes, his smart house was actually hacked. Lights were lighting up and down again, and after few more minutes, it started burning. At least someone is watching everything with the camera he installed in front of the house, and they sent him fire brigade. So nothing really happened, but if they could do this just remotely, using only the bulbs that they were connected to the internet, you can imagine what may happen if nobody was there watching this. Okay, so the next IT threat is actually use of a clouds. Well, I wouldn't say that it's bad to use a cloud, but we should be really careful with using them. And now, IT scientists, they tend to say that data is our new oil. You are probably in a mining, so we also have data mining. It's basically collecting all the data from the internet, and then there are huge databases which are also located in clouds, so they are not physical computers, they are just located everywhere. And then the threat in this model is that this data is actually not in our computer, not in device that is in our server room or in our storage. It's somewhere on the internet, and then when it's sent to the internet, it can be actually gained from the internet. Maybe if we don't secure it before we send it, maybe someone can get the access, and we wouldn't want it, because maybe we keep their data that they are not for the public. So yes, if we send something to the internet, if our password gets compromised, we should always be sure that the data we send, if it becomes public for any reason, it may be programmers or the cloud provider mistake, and then this data is public if it threats us in any way. Okay. The next thing I wanted to mention is phishing. It's not about actually phishing. Well, it is in some way, because then we are the fish. And hackers or cyber criminals, they are trying to get our identity. So maybe they try to steal our passwords, data. in order to do that, they may be sending false messages, such as emails, text, and link messages to our phones or any of the internet communicators in order to steal our password and login and then access our data. Sometimes they may use it just to threat us, try to get some money from us for not revealing some data, which again you may try to keep secret. Okay, so also phishing leads to spreading computer viruses. Sometimes email message or a link sent by an attacker can lead to spreading computer virus in our network. Then infecting and taking over more computers connected to our network. So not only one computer, we may end up with problem in whole company, in our house or organization. Another threat which I found very popular, especially I deal with that a lot at work, ransomware. Ransomware basically restricts user from accessing his or her own data. So it locks the screen. It can encrypt the data on a computer or even cloud, and also asks for ransom. So asks for money from us to access our own data. So maybe you've ever seen this kind of things. It's a ransomware which locks computer. It says to be Department of Justice, whatever, but it's actually a ransomware that locks computer and then asks for money for the fine in this, but it's a fault. So some cyber criminals were trying to get some money from users this way. This is another one. This was very common last year. It was called WannaCry. This ransomware was encrypting all the files on the computer, also connected remote network disks. So this one was really bad. It would completely lock out and encrypt all the files. It was for quite a while impossible to restore the data. So in this situation, someone who has really important data in their computer and gets infected with WannaCry cannot actually access their own data. And therefore, there is no decryption. They also ask to send some Bitcoin. It was quite famous ransomware. So yes, this was the last years, and now we have this tendency to turn into ransomware into cryptojacking. So cryptojacking is it works a bit different, but it also leads for cyber criminals to get money from bitcoins or cryptocurrencies. This one installs malicious software or just implements malicious script on a website, and then someone who's accessing this website gets infected, or maybe not infected, installs or starts running cryptocurrency miner. So the miner starts using resources of our computer in order to mine cryptocurrency, which is not for us, it's for some criminal who is using our computer in order to get some money out of it. So it may happen in a few ways. First is malicious software, which can be downloaded from fake websites. Like we can try to download something else, but somehow we get this malicious software. Then the other one is unintended installation of fake mobile applications. If you follow the news of the cryptojacking, you will realize there was a lot of apps in Google Store. Actually, after installing them, they would work like this. They were actually mining cryptocurrency for some attackers. And yeah, that's how it works. It's utilizing our computer to work for somebody else. So now the conclusions, how to stay safe among all these threats. First of all, you should always try to be up to date with your computer, with your network, with your software. Always test and always make sure you are up to date. And if there is security or important security update, always try to be the first to install it. Don't wait until you see maybe one day you will enter some website and you will see you need to download update in order to be safe. And maybe when you click that, you will be actually downloading some malicious file. So to avoid that, it's better to update just as fast as possible. So if you can use the automatic updates, it's always good to turn it on. The second thing, don't click all the links emailed to you, especially if you don't know the person who sent the email. Or you can always contact with other media and ask if this person actually sent you this email, because sometimes attackers, they try to impersonate someone else, spreading news, and then if you click a link, you may get infected. The next thing, using good passwords. By this, we have it here. We can consider it's more than 8 letters, digits, characters. So it's not only letters in your passwords. You can also use the capitals and regular letters. Don't reuse passwords. So if you have just one password for few services or for your computer, then network, it's not a good idea. Of course, change them from time to time. It's not that we should have just one password all our life. We should change them from time to time. And of course, keep them secret. Just don't tell other people what kind of passwords you use, because you never know who you are talking to. Also, it's good to be aware of all these threats. So there are several websites that can teach you how to stay safe on the internet. I don't know any local one for you, but there are some international ones. So you can maybe just try how to Google how to stay safe and then follow the instructions there. Oh, it stopped working. Yes. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you. This is my full name. If you don't use LinkedIn, you can also contact me with Facebook. I can send you some links that you can follow the news in order to stay safe on the internet. Thank you.